Well, good evening. It's good to be with you today, and let us seek the Lord today. We're coming to you from the Lantern Waste in the province of Wardrobe, near the country of Spare Oom. So, pardon the pun. But anyway, today's is February the 12th, and we are looking at Genesis 45. So, without any further ado, let's start reading. Joseph could no longer control himself in front of all his attendants, so he declared, "Everyone leave now." So no one stayed with him when he revealed his identity to his brothers. He wept so loudly that the Egyptians and Pharaoh's household heard him. And Joseph said to his brothers, "I'm Joseph. Is my father really still alive?" His brothers couldn't respond because they were terrified. Joseph said to his brothers, "Closer to me." And they moved closer, and he said, "I am your brother, Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. Now, don't be upset and don't be angry with yourselves that you sold me here. Actually, God sent me before you to save lives. We've already had 2 years of famine in the land, and there are 5 years left without planting or harvesting. God sent me before you to make sure that you would survive and to rescue your lives in this amazing way. You didn't send me here. It was God who made me a father to Pharaoh, master of his entire household, and ruler of the whole land of Egypt. Hurry, go back to your father. Tell him that this is what your son Joseph says. God has made me master of all of Egypt. Come down to me. Don't delay. You may live in the land of Goshen. You'll be near me and everyone with you. I'll support you there. And so you and your household and everyone with you won't starve, since the famine is still will last 5 more years. You and my brother Benjamin have seen with your own eyes that I am speaking to you. Tell my father about my power in Egypt and about everything you've seen. Hurry, bring my father down." He threw his arm around his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept on his shoulder. He kissed all of his brothers and wept, embracing them. After that, his brothers were finally able to talk to him. When Pharaoh's household heard the message, "Joseph's brothers have arrived," both Pharaoh and his servants were pleased. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Give your brothers these instructions. Load your pack animals and go back to the land of Canaan. Get your father and your households and come back to me. Let me provide you with good things from the land of Egypt, that you may eat the land's best food." Give them these instructions too. Take wagons from the land of Egypt for your children and your wives. Pick up your father and come back. Don't worry about your possessions, because you will have good things from the entire land of Egypt. So Israel's sons did that. Joseph gave them wagons, as Pharaoh had instructed, and he gave them provisions for the road. To all of them he gave a change of clothing, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of clothing. To his father he sent 10 male donkeys carrying goods from Egypt, 10 female donkeys carrying grain and bread and rations for his father for the road. He sent his brothers off, and as they were leaving, he told them, "Don't be worried about the trip." So they left Egypt, and they returned to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. They announced to him, "Joseph's still alive. He's actually the ruler of all the land of Egypt." And Jacob's heart nearly failed, and he didn't believe them. And when they told him everything Joseph had said to them, and when he saw the wagons Joseph had sent to carry him, Jacob answered, he recovered. And then Israel said, "This is too much. My son Joseph is still alive. Let me go and see him before I die." God makes even the sin of man to bring him glory. Wow. We've reached the climax of the Joseph Chronicles, and I love these sentences by Joseph. Let me read them to you again. Verse 5, but now do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life. Verse 7, and God sent me before you to preserve a posterity for you in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. In verse 8, so now it was not you who sent me here, but God. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 13, so you shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and all, and all of you that you have seen, all you shall hurry, bring my father down here. This is the value of focusing upon the glory of the Lord. So when we're wronged by others, especially fellow believers or our brothers and sisters, we often focus on the wrong. The wrong is painful. It's discouraging. It hurts. But God has ways of taking sin and turning it into something good. It makes his glory greater. He can take vile sin and he can turn it to his praise. Witness Joseph and his brothers. How could Joseph possibly not been one who would take revenge after all they did to him? I submit to you that it is only because he focused on the glory of God and not the sin of his brothers. Even when he didn't know how God was going to work in the depths of prison, he focused upon the glory of God. When we look upon his glory, bitterness cannot stick to us. It eventually slides off. Tell my father of all my glory in Egypt. That's a human perspective. All the Egyptians would have discussed the success story of Joseph. He had risen from the depths of prison to the second in command of Egypt. He was the most powerful man in the world at the time. Had it been today, the paparazzi would leave him alone. They'd be all over him like flies on honey. On a human level, that's glory. But look at Joseph's perspective. Twice he says, God sent me. Once he says, it was not you who sent me here, but God. He also says of God, he has made me a father to he's made me a father to Pharaoh. It was not just Joseph's glory that was increased by the sin of man. It was God's own glory. On a human level, that was made possible because Joseph focused on the glory of God and not on the hurt of his brothers. If you're currently dealing with the wrong of the sin of others inflicted upon you, focus on his glory. The next time you're wronged by someone, focus on his glory. Ask him how you can glorify him in the midst of this. Why? Because he wants to glorify himself in this. And you need to glorify God in this. And it's all because we serve a glorious King. Speak his glory to someone today.